Hello and welcome in my lessons, and today we will discuss about operators, expressions, and conditional statements. So first, operator basically allows processing of primitive data types and objects. So we all know what are those, the primitive data types. It could be integer, float, boolean, and also objects. So the operators take take those as an input of one or more operands and return some value as a result. So like for example, we have here the assignment operators. So the assignment operators is represented by the equal sign, and also it might be a mix of uh, other arithmetic operators. So basically, the assignment operators looks like this. So you declare a variable and you assign it with a value. So it could be in the initialization phase, or it could be later. Maybe you are doing some calculations, and after that, you use the equal sign to assign the value. So we have here on this line, we created a variable with a data type of integer and assigned it with a literal number of 6. And another example is we declared a string where we use the equal as the assignment operators. So of course we assign it with a string. In C sharp, we could also do a cascade assignment. So in this example, we declared three integers, which are x, y, and z, and that we assigned it with a literal value of 25. And as you can see, it cascades the assignment of the value. So this is a legal or a correct syntax. So first, we assign a value to z, and what comes after z, or whatever value the variable z has, will be assigned to y and also assigned to x. So this is what we call the cascade assignment. Another one is the compound assignment operators. So in this operator, as what I've said earlier, can be followed with an arithmetic operator. As you can see here, we declared two variables, and then we have assigned the value of y to the value of x. As you can see here, we have um, asterisk followed with an equal sign. So this is an example of a compound assignment operator. So this means this is the same as x equals to x times y. So this is how it represented, or how we can read that line. Or we can also do this x plus equals y. So that means it is also the same as x equals to x plus y. So that's basically you can say it's kind of a shortcut to these long expressions. And by the way, uh, just a head start, an expression looks like this. It's a series of operators and variables. Also, another one, maybe we can do x divided by y. So same as x is equals to x, divided by y. And that is an example of a compound assignment operator. Next, we do the arithmetic operators. So as the name says, we can do basic arithmetic, math arithmetic. So that includes addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So if we want to add, so obviously we need to use the plus sign. Subtract, then we can do the minus sign. Multiply, so don't mind the comment, or even division. And also we can do modulo division, where it returns the remainder of the value. So that's it for the arithmetic operators. As you can see here, it's already had an output, which can also be seen in our what do you call that, in our copies of your lectures. Then we have here the comparison operator. So basically, we compare the two values, or two or more values. So in this case, the comparison returns a Boolean value. So these are basically used in our conditional statement, such as, like for example, we declared x equals to 10 and y equals to 5. So if we are going to use the greater sign, so that means it is above the um, left hand operand. So this is the left hand and this is the right hand operand. So if x is 10, so that means all 11 and above. So if x is greater than y, which is true. So basically, and also we use the less than, the greater than, equal, and equal. So two equal sign means if they are matched or if they are equal, and exclamation equal means if they are not equal. So here are the answers. So again, x is greater than y, so that's true because x is 10 while y is only 5. Is x less than y, so it's false because again x is greater than y. And this one, we greater than equal, so meaning the exact or above the exact and above value, so meaning x is greater than equal, so meaning 10 and above. While here we use the greater than, so meaning we just compare it starting to 11. So that's the difference between the greater than and greater than equal. So the starting from the value of x and greater and above. So meaning it's 10 and above. While here it's 11 and above. All right. So obviously, if it matches or it satisfies the condition, then it will always return to true. While in this case, x is equals to y. So since they are not both are not equal, then it will return to false. So that's for the comparison operators. So they usually use for our conditional statements. Then we have here the logical operators. So it's the same as to the comparison operators. It will return a Boolean value. So we have here, for example, we have the and, so meaning both should be true. So the two operand or values must be trues when are using the and logical operator. So we have declared here that A is equals to true and B is equals to false. So are they both equal, or I mean are they the same value? So this is what the expressions is asking. So obviously it's not, because a and b are not having not the same value. So in or, meaning um, at least one of them are true. So that's how the or logical operators, which is represented by two bars. So again, at least one of them is true. Since A is true while B is false, it will still return true, because at least again one of them, at least one of them should be true. Next is the inversion. So it will invert the Boolean value of the variable. So if you check the declaration, B is equals to false, but we use the inversion, then it will invert the Boolean value of B. So it will equal to true. Then here, as you can see here, we use a literal value, Boolean value, which is true. So if we're going to use the or logical operator, where B is equals to false, but the next operand here is true. So based on the condition of the or the way the or operator works, at least one of them is true. So it will return a true value. Then we have here the exclusive or. So exclusive or, so don't worry, I've added in our in our PDF file. So an exclusive or should be at least if both if both is not equal or not the same, then it will return true. And if both are true, then it will return false. So if we're going to check here, is 5 greater than um, is 5 is greater than 7, so it should be false. And A is equals to B, which is false, then it will return to false. So again, if both are equal, then it will return to false. If both is not equal, then it will return to true. So that's how the exclusive or works, like this. So if let's say true, then equal to false. If true, false, then equal to true. So that's how the exclusive or works or calculates. So if both are equal, like this, for example, if both are false, meaning they are both equal or false, then it will return to false. If both is true or equal, then it will return to false still. But both of them is not equal, then it will return to true. So that's how the again, this is the caret sign. So that's for exclusive or. All right. Next is the expressions. So again, as what I've said, the expression is a sequence of operators and variables, and then it will return uh, what do I call that? A certain value or calculated value based from the operators used. So again, expression are sequences of operators, literals, and variables that are calculated to a value of some type. So expression always returns a certain value. So like for example here, um, we created an integer of r while we have used a sequences, so not just one but more, one or more operators. So we have here 1, 2, and 3 operators. So this is considered an expression. So if we're going to calculate this based on the priority or precedence, the parenthesis has the highest value. So of course it will always be calculated first. So that means that the so 150 to 20 will give you 30 divided by 2, then added by 5. So that's whatever calculations here will let me see. Okay, so let's just run this code, and there you go. So let me use my calculator here. So 150 minus 20 divided by 2 plus 5. So that gives us 70. And the next expression here, we use the built-in object of C# called math. So math, if you were to encounter this some of like Java and C++, it has also a built-in objects where you can use where can you take advantage. Like for example, here in math, let's say so if we use the dot operators, so this is another operator, the dot, so which will extend or access the properties or methods of a class. So if we're going to use the dot operator here, uh, the editor or the IDE will display or suggest uh, one of the public properties or methods of the class math. So you can use here, like for example, round. So let's say let's round, so round up. So let's say round up 0.5. So let's check that. Oh, sorry. So we didn't use the, we did not display the value. Rather, we just calculate the value, but not show. Okay, so let's do that again. So that's 0. Yeah, so it's so 0 because it only accepts, it rounds off value um, around 0.6. So let's do 0.6. So as you can see, it gives us a 0 value. So if we're going to run again, then it gives us a 1. So there is another property which is ceiling. I think ceiling, right? So ceiling, it will round up to the next highest value. So that means it doesn't matter if it's 0.1 or 0.2, it will always round up to the highest number. So it gave us 1. While floor, I think the other one is floor. So it will round up to the lowest value. So if we're going to run this, it's 0. There you go. So you can explore the properties that are available in our map object. So these are again expression. All of these, a sequence of operators are called expressions. So like for example here, if we use next, if we're going to use the if statement, there you go. So inside the if statement must accept a certain expressions that returns a value of true or false, like this. So let's say R, if R, let's see what will happen. And let's just print hello and then run. As you can see, it already gives us an error. So would you like to continue? Okay, so as you can see here in the error cannot implicitly convert type into bool, so it won't accept um, an integer to a boolean value. So again, the value or the expression that accepts by the if statements are thus returns a boolean value. So let's say is r greater than 0. So since this expression will return a boolean value, so the if statement will accept this expression. So if we're going to run this, then obviously it will um, satisfy the condition, and then it will execute whatever code under the if block or if statement. So again, a block is somewhere between an opening and curly braces. So if block. So whatever uh, conditions are added here, it will execute whatever code inside the block or if block. So that's how the conditional statements work. We could also do an else. So else is simply execute if the if statement was not satisfied. So let's say is r equals to 0. So if this expression was not satisfied and will return false, as always it will always if accepts true. So it will only accept true. So meaning this expression is not, it will not return a true value. So it will jump to the else statement. So you can do let's say sab. So it printed the word sab because r is not equals to 0. But if we're going to use not equal, then obviously the expression or the condition was met or satisfied. Then it will display hello. All right. So what if in our if statement we have another conditions? So in that case, we'll use the else if statement. So if we have another way to check the value of r, then we can do so. Oops, there's no closing curly brace. All right. So let's say r is equals to 1. Then we can do a simple print here. So let's say r is 1. But obviously r is not equals to 1. It will always display the hello string since this expression was met. And another thing is inside our if statement or in our conditional statement, it can also do multiple one or more expressions. Like for example, we could do an or. Uh, we could do a logical operators. So let's say is r not equals to 0, and let's say r is not equals to 10. So we could also do that. We could use another conditional state. I mean, we could all uh, another comparison while using the logical operator. So we can combine this, and this could be another expression. So obviously it will print hello again, since this statement is satisfied, or this expression is satisfied. Another one, maybe we could do or. Let's say r is greater than, or that's two bars, vertical bars. So r is greater than 0. There you go. So we can even assign parentheses to make it readable or accurate, or it will give this expression a highest priority. So it will check first. This expression will be checked first. Then after that, it will go to the another expression. So that's how the if statement, else if, and else works. So next is the switch statement. So in a switch statement, we basically take a single variable and then check each of the possible values. So let's say switch r. Then we could do a case here. Then if r is 0, then we could do something like we could do whatever we want here. So but what comes after a case is the break statement. So the break statement basically stops the switch from further checking. Like for example, if we have here case 1, and we did not specify a break here, then basically it will do this line, and after that it will do the another case. So let's say maybe let's do a integer z equals to 0, and let's change this to z, and let's say z is equals to 1, and then z is equals to 2. All right. Right, so as you can see here, it already gives us an error here. So that means, so it says here, control cannot fall through from one case to another. So meaning it cannot do this one and then do the other case. So we should do a break. So I was trying to create an example here, but unfortunately the IDE already sends us an error which it cannot proceed. So maybe let's print the value of z. So control, so z. So let's check that. So as you can see, since z is equals to 0, then it will fall to this case 0. So that means this case will be executed, specifically this line. All right. So that's how the switch. Oh, and by the way, we could do default. So default, if there are no other cases, or it doesn't fall to any of these cases. So what if z is not 0 or z is not 1? So what will we do? So the switch will fall to this default statement. So if no other value has been seen or checked, so this default will be executed. So let's say z is equals to 99. So let's say z is equals to 10. So let's do that. So as you can see, it gave us a value of 99. So that's how the switch statement works. Alright, so that's it for this recording, and see you on the next one.